10 years old should be able to throw a baseball 45 feet. And maybe the majority of American females. So I thought, gosh, am I overestimating myself? Am I just full of crap? I'm like,
I think it's more people are nervous, like, to be in front of people, not throwing the ball.
yeah, kind of. I got over that a few years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A few years ago, I got over that. I'm nervous being in front of people. So that was a good night at the ballpark. And the home team won. Aviators are really struggling. Tomorrow at 9:30, JJ, the voice of the Aviators, a legend in his own right, former Albuquerque Dukes announcer, and 12-time sportscaster of the year, 11 times in Nevada, once in New Mexico. Russ Langer is going to be with us. Talk to Russ. He's also the voice of UNLV football. He does Aviators baseball, but he worked with Mike Roberts over on KKOB and did Dukes from 95 to 99. So he's won 11 times Nevada Sportscaster of the Year and once in New Mexico. So he'll be with us, and we'll talk just baseball, travel, because Josh's going to be with us today for the day game. But we'll talk with him and get into that. All right, your guest list today, 8:30, Sebastian Noel's going to be with us, the voice of the people. Talk about high school sports starting up and the Gladiator season coming to a rough end. Did you catch any of Saturday's Gladiators, by the way?
Very rough.
Really rough. So we'll talk about that. 9 o'clock? Andy Avalos,
Sounds good.
the head coach of Boise State's football team. Guy who, once again, Boise State picked at the top. Have you ever seen a media poll in this league that Boise State was not at the top?
I don't recall one.
Has there ever been one? And I know they put out a list, and I should have looked at it, the history of the media polls. But I believe Boise State, every year they've been in this league, has been picked at the top of the polls. Now, they certainly have not finished at the top of the standings every year. But they've been picked. So I think you'll enjoy. Andy's a very interesting guy, and a guy who played at Boise State, coached there, went to Oregon, and came back. And we'll talk about the pressures of Boise State and playing there and coaching there, and certainly the state of college football with him. So that's where we're going today, 8:39 and 9:30. So if you want to get in, we invite you at 505-246-0610, 505-246-0610. Emails will come in, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks, and you can watch us on Comcast Channel 26, and, of course, on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. All right, Julio Jones joining the Buccaneers. JJ, I heard a lot of comparisons yesterday, and I'm not ready to buy them, to Tom Brady getting Randy Moss. And first of all, I think Randy Moss was in his prime, and I think Julio might be past it, although maybe he shouldn't be, when Tom Brady teamed up with Randy Moss. I also think that when Randy Moss went to the Patriots all those years ago, he was the obvious number one, and Julio Jones joining Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Scotty Miller and Rashad Perriman and Tyler Johnson. I think they also signed Russell Gage. He's got to make the team. So I'm not buying any of those comparisons. Nice signing, could be interesting, but to me this was way more name than anything else.
Yeah, people haven't been paying attention. Julio Jones has played 19 games the last 2 seasons. He's going into his 12th NFL season. This is the role for him now. It's not Julio Jones signing for the Titans to be their number 2 wide receiver. It's Julio Jones being a number 3. If he's healthy, can he step up first 6 to 8 games of the season as Chris Godwin comes back from a torn ACL he suffered very late in the season last year? So it's an embarrassment of riches via name, but in terms of production, I think it's going to benefit him not just playing with Tom Brady, but the expectations are so much lower at this point for Julio Jones.
Well, you watched him last year, and there were high expectations when he was opposite A.J. Brown in Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill, and I understand the difference between Ryan Tannehill and Tom Brady. I'm very aware of that. But what's the best ability?
Availability.
And he was not available. And even when he was available, he wasn't all that good. Now, was he healthy ever? I don't know that he ever was healthy last year. Is he healthy now? We'll see. But a guy's 33 years old, which is getting up there in terms of being an NFL wide receiver. Now, if you want perspective, you can go back the last 8 seasons. Go back to 2014, and Julio Jones leads the National Football League in receiving yards. Now, I don't know if I asked you, since 2014, who leads the NFL in receiving yards, if Julio Jones would have been in your top 5, would he? You'd have gone Devontae Adams. You'd have gone a lot of. I'm going to guess I would have gone a number of different places before I went to Julio Jones, right? Mike Evans, who's also on this team now, by the way, leads the NFL in touchdown catches, 75 of them. During that span, they're now both on the same team. So Tom, to your point, has some riches. He's got ways, and he tends to make guys better. And if there's a role for Julio, if he's got something left, if there's a part for him to play, then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm certain, will find the part for him to play because it puts him, if there's a place for him to scrape out another year or two of his career, this is it.
Absolutely. As you're talking about being the wide receiver 3, different packages to red zone looks now that Rob Gronkowski is retired in his career. So his size still plays down there. And it's one that, name-wise, it gets people going like, oh my gosh, here we go again. How does Tom Brady get this person? But the reality of it is it's going to work not because of who he is, but the role that he's going to end up playing, which is going to be a much smaller one in this offense.
Yeah, I think this is perfect. All right, we got a lot of NFL to talk about. Chris Carson. We'll get into what New England's doing, what Bill Belichick's doing without coordinators, and how does that work. And I'll tell you why it does, because I think it does. Glenn says, it wasn't Glenn. This says, this is Dan talking about you. Amory. This is flashback to M-Law. So when Michael Ann was here, that's what he used to call Michael Ann. Have you ever met Michael Ann? She produced our show for a while?
No.
Quite a while, actually. She was very good. But she enjoyed the nightlife. Is that fair?
Yes.
Jeffrey Juan Jose Iana Maria. Who goes to a Tuesday night wedding? Who on earth goes to a Tuesday night wedding and says, hold on, let me read it and you can respond? Look, I get it. You were invited, you went. It ain't on you. Was that necessitated because of soaring costs? That sounds like something only former OD producer Law would attempt. Only she would have gone to the after party, staying up until 4 a.m. before trying to run this award-winning show. It's from Dan. Dan's in on that. And it's actually, he's right.
That's so funny.
I know, but she'd have,
God bless her.
She'd have answered the bell, right? She would have answered the bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the same mentality, except I can't do it like I used to.
That's right.
Kyle took me home at 8 p.m.
No way.
Yeah.
I was still at the ball yard at 8 p.m.
I know. I try to be, ready to roll here.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why they did it on Tuesday, but they did. And she's a very close family member of mine, so I couldn't miss it.
No, hell no. No. Could have even thrown out the first pitch of the wedding.
There was no bouquet toss. Even though I don't participate in those days.
Anymore. Yeah, you just got to watch.
Sorry, fellas.
Stand on the sorry, fellas.
I'd always catch them though, because I'm like competitive and I'm tall
and you're probably a little more physical.
I'm like
when
a
it
wide
comes to
receiver out there.
No, you're kind of the tight end in that group. I mean, with all due respect, you're kind of the tight end in that
I'm
group.
totally the tight end in that group. That's really funny.
You're Gronk when it comes to that.
Totally.
I mean, in that setting.
Yeah.
505-24. I say that with the utmost.
No, of course.
Respect. All right, when we come back, we'll talk some more NFL. Your guest list, 8:30, Sebastian Noel, voice of the people. We'll talk high school sports and gladiators. 9 o'clock, Boise State head football coach Andy Avalos. And at 9:30, the voice of the Albuquerque Isotopes, Josh Sushan, as it's Topes and Aviators Day Style today out at the Ball Yard. It's the opening drive. Glad you're with us on a Wednesday morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Next to line,
is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
And proud moment. I believe, to the best of my knowledge, A. Marie will still be producing the morning show. Is that correct?
Obviously.
But yesterday it was announced that your A. Marie has not only got her own show, here on these Sports Animals. She has her own shows,
Shows.
plural, on the Sports Animal.
Shows.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very
that's really
excited.
Cool. Go ahead and tell the people what you've been teasing them with for the last couple of days.
Yeah. So I will be right after First and 5:05.
So this will be on Saturday.
On Saturday
For those of you who
after
don't know our
Ryan
schedule.
Tamari, from 11 to 1. And some of the shows will be cut off, obviously, because of college football. But and Sundays from 9 to 10, it will be a gambling show.
What do we call that?
Name 3 wagers. Playing off the name 3 players.
Yeah. So people can get in on. So when do these shows start?
Next week.
Like both of them?
Yeah.
So you're working 7 days a week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always work in general.
All right, just checking. All right, but you're still producing our show?
Obviously.
To the best of my knowledge?
Obviously.
All right.
I would never leave the opening job.
Yeah, you will one day.
Well, when I move.
They all do.
Well, when I move.
But, hey, congratulations. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you.
Thanks, guys.
I'm just stoked for you. So, appointment listening for you on Saturdays from 11 till 1, barring preemptions with football, whatever we're running. But what will that show be called?
Name 3 players.
Name 3 players. And then
branding
on Sunday, as you're thinking about how you're going to win your money, 9 o'clock in the morning, it'll be Name 3 wagers, and Amory will be on there too.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
I'm very excited.
No, we're stoked for you.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you've
guys.
earned this, and that's a big deal. It's a really big deal. All right.
Tomorrow's our anniversary.
Tomorrow is our 14-year anniversary here on the show. Yeah, 14 years of me working at this company and doing this particular radio show. 14 out of 27 years of the time this radio station's been on the air. You start to go, whoa, wait a minute, man.
Time flies.
I've been here a minute. So, all right, Russ Langer is going to be on tomorrow. Deutsch says, Russ Langer, what time is the 51's announcer going to be on, Jeffy? That's appointment listening. That's right, 9:30 tomorrow morning is when Russ Langer will be with us. All right, you want to talk, there's a lot of NFL stuff going on. As camp's open, and the Cowboys are in Oxnard now, and everybody's in. And JJ, there's been a lot of talk about the Patriots and who's going to be their coordinator, and Bill Belichick basically saying, we're not going to have coordinators. Somebody's going to call defense. How do you? I'll tell you how I feel about it, but how do you feel about that? Because everybody's losing their freaking mind.
Well, it's the most Bill Belichick thing ever.
It is.
It is him telling everyone else, y'all ain't good enough. And every other coaching staff, even when you have a coach caliber of Bill Belichick, people have their roles.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the offensive coordinator, there's a defensive coordinator, and there is a true sense that I know he's going to say everyone has their job to do. Bill Belichick could call absolutely every play, offensively and defensively, next year for the Patriots, and no one would bat an eye, and no one on that staff is going to say a thing, because that is the one team you look at and go, yep, no one is doing anything other than Bill Belichick.
Well, first of all, if any staff, I don't care if it's Sean McVay or Doug Peterson, if he decides he was going to do that, nobody on the staff's going to bat an eye or say a thing because he's the boss, right? That's the way he does it. So here's my feel. I don't know that I don't take it that way. I don't take it as him saying none of you are good enough. I look at him saying, I think certainly in that building, everybody knows their role. I think whoever really is the defensive coordinator knows they're the defensive coordinator, and somebody's heading up the offense. Whoever, and whether they've got a title or not. See, to me, this is him saying, "We don't need titles. We're all on team. We're on to Cincinnati." I just think that he is decided he's going to do it differently because he can, because he's Bill freaking Belichick, and he can. Honestly, at this point, he's 70-something years old. He can do whatever the hell he wants. And I don't know why he wants to do that this way. And is it odd? Is it different? Is it? I guess I'm not losing my mind over this because I am certain that everybody in that building knows what their role is. And now it might be different, like where the offensive coordinator every week is in charge on every other team in America. I'm saying college football and pros and high school. They all know what their roles are, right? And so the offensive coordinator every week game plans. So maybe he's going to say, Aaron, this week you're going to handle Cincinnati, and you're going to handle the Jets. Maybe, but I guarantee you, every coach in that building knows what their role is. And the players know who the offensive coordinator is and who's calling the defenses and who's putting in the game plans. And so to me, I'm not worried about him or his team because they're doing it a different way, so they don't have titles, but I'm certain everybody knows what their role is.
The one guy that carved out a role and trust was Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
Like, that is...
Well, and Matt Patricia did too.
Yeah, it doesn't happen now.
No, I know he doesn't have it now.
Either does Joe Judge. Those guys coming back to the staff, and you see that a lot. And it's when you're working under one of the best ever. You go out, try to spread your wings and fly, and you come crashing down because you try to do a lot of the same things Bill Belichick does. And it's only been really Mike Vrabel that's been able to take that.
Yeah, I thought
recently.
Brian Flores did well.
Flores did really good.
Yeah, I thought Brian Flores.
We understand it was a bit of a raw deal, not just everything that went on, but his team was taking a step forward before they let him go. But it's been few and far between.
Yeah.
And so Bill Belichick takes his young apprentices back. You're right, they do have a role, but this is the most Bill Belichick thing ever.
I'm
not even
arguing
Sean
that.
McVay, you name Andy Reid, like anyone is going to get away with doing this, but Bill Belichick can absolutely
Look,
get away with it.
I'm not arguing it that it's insanely Belichickian. And is he done it before? Has anybody done it
He
before?
sure isn't calling anyone else the head coach.
No. He's
Calling himself the head coach,
That's
so.
right, and it's his job. But his bosses are calling him the head coach. Is he just saying you don't have a title? Is he? But I promise you, everybody in that building will know who's responsible for what. And when Monday comes of game week, who's got the game plan? Who's calling the plays? And is it him? It might be him. It might be Joe Judge. It might whoever it is. But everybody, including the players, will know their role. And if you don't, and I don't, and our buddy Bob Susi, who is the play-by-play guy, doesn't know. He doesn't give a damn. As long as we know, Mac knows who's calling the plays. And we're under the Jets. We got to play the Jets.
He's like, Mac, this is Bill. Can you run the football, please?
Yeah,
Thank you.
And don't run the damn football. Throw the damn ball. Yeah,
Play action pass.
There's a lot of stories to me in the NFL. There's a lot of stories, and this is days old, and I understand, and we're talking about.
Well,
it now.
it's an organization that, to your point, Jeff, everyone knows their role, but it's a respect factor. Like when you become an offensive or defensive coordinator in the league.
And
it's
there's
just
certainly
like
a pay grade.
Yeah, and just like if you're working in an office and you're the associate vice president of this.
What's your title? Yeah.
What's your title?
There's that.
And I don't think it hurts anyone, but it is a little reminder from Bill Belichick
Just the boss.
that place is different than everywhere else.
Yeah, I think they all knew that. Yeah. And if they didn't, they all know it now. But they all came home, right?
Yeah.
They all went off to college, went to get a job, and now they're out of work, and they're sleeping back in their old bedroom, aren't they?
Back on the couch.
That's right, because their bedroom's been turned into daddy's man cave.
How'd you like that, coaching the Lions?
I was in Lions. You like to train? Sleep on the couch.
Now you're not even a coordinator. You're just a coach.
You don't even get a damn pillow. Yeah, that's right. But I'm curious where you all think. I just don't think it's a big deal. I just flat out, I know that hours have been spent talking about this and in every media outlet in America. And I look at it and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, I just don't think it matters because I honestly don't believe anything's being done differently in the building, in the organization, than if they had titles. And whoever it is, if it's Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, whoever the guys are that are basically leading the offensive, defensive staffs, everybody knows who the quarterback coach is and the linebackers coach is and the offensive line coach, and everybody knows who's got game plan and whether you know and whether they got a title. I just honestly, I don't think it's going to make a difference. And it's a story, and I get why, but I think it's one of the most overblown stories. And it's not going to make a difference. When we get back, we'll go to the phones. 505-246-0610 as you start to get in. 888-922-0610. Really curious what you think about this. And is it a big deal? Niners are moving on. They're 100% Trey Lance. We'll get there. And a pretty good running back over the last 5 years has called it quits early because of injuries. We'll get into that. Do you have injuries? Are you hurting? Are you hurting like regularly and you just basically relegated yourself to the thought that, that's how it's going to be? It doesn't have to be that way. QC Kinetics is here in town. They can help you. If you've got chronic pain, and you're not having success with any of the treatments that you've been dealing with, and the doctors told you, well, you're going to need drugs and you're going to need surgery, there may be another way, and it's QC Kinetics. We're talking about new therapies, advanced all-natural biologics. It's regenerative treatments that basically what it does, it restores and repairs damaged joint tissue, providing lasting relief. And listen to me, with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. QC Kinetics is here in town. They're the nation's leader in precision regenerative medicine. They have over 100 clinics across America and literally thousands and thousands of satisfied patients. 9 out of 10 times, QC Kinetics gets better results than surgery. So if you've been told that you need surgery, that you have to take these drugs, take advantage of this free consultation. It's basically a free second opinion. Elite athletes use QC Kinetics. Brooks Koepka has, Emmett Smith, Tiger Woods. It's worth taking a look at, isn't it? If you've got joint pain due to arthritis, knee pain, hip pain, shoulder pain, don't just think the old ways of dealing with it are the only ways. You've got to learn more about these new biologic therapy options that can change your life. Call QC Kinetics now. Free consultation with local medical professionals. The number is 505-226-8688. 505-226-8688. That's QC Kinetics, 505-226-8688.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future.
Our good buddy Nick Nee and his PGA Junior team out at San Diego Golf Club three-peated yesterday on their way to regionals. He's an insanely good teacher, especially with the kids. Like it's the program that Nick has developed over at San Diego Golf Club is beyond tremendous. And they beat the 10-1 team and moved on to regional. So go get them, Nick. Represent New Mexico well, and best of luck up against those Texas teams. And they'll try to get to that PGA Junior Championship tournament, which will be in Arizona, I believe. So, yeah, no, it's good people right there, man. So congratulations to him. 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. You want to go to the phones?
Let's do it.
Bill wants to talk about Bill Belichick. Bill, good morning. You're on the opening drive. How are you, Bill?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Yeah, we're in Cincinnati.
No, I did not find this very surprising about Bill Belichick. I mean, I myself was not happy when Jerry Jones says, "Oh, I'm not going to do a general manager," but to not have an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, you know, if they start off and they fail for, you know, the first 3 or 4 games, they're going to be blaming him big time. And he doesn't like answering questions as a head coach. Now he has to answer head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator questions. He's really going to be a happy guy.
Yeah, I guess I don't recall Josh McDaniels was talking a lot to the media when he was with the Patriots anyway. I think Belichick answers all the questions anyway. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's all going to have to – but to your point, the questions will be more pointed and more maybe they will. I don't know that he's worried about that. But, yeah, that could be a consequence of this.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
He's going to do what he wants to do. I just hope he gets a big raise. I hope Mr. Kraft gives him a big raise for taking on 2 more, you know, responsibilities, you know.
Yeah.
So that way he can finish out his career nice and rich.
That's his angle. Yeah, because he's hurting right now. Yeah, that's probably right. All right, Bill.
Have a good day, guys.
See you. I don't know that he's doing it because, and honestly, do you think he's going to call all the plays? I don't. I mean, I know that's the narrative is, well, he may call all the plays. I just don't think that's how this is going to play out. I just don't think he's giving anybody titles.
But he's the only dude that can get away with it.
100%.
And you know, there is an understanding. Those guys, they've worked for him. They respect him. I don't think anyone's upset by this. But it is one, too, where even if you're the best and you don't like titles, you need consistency. And as long as there's consistency, it's not a different dude every week calling plays. It's not a different dude every week doing the game planning. You're going to be successful because even with Bill Belichick, that's not a successful model for a team if you have dudes doing different jobs every week.
I would guess it's not. All right, and maybe it'll be the same dude doing the same job every week just without a title. Right? And you know.
But it goes back to that point, too. Is this affecting my paycheck at all?
No, I think that's
Are you able to pay me less because I'm not a coordinator?
All right, they start out at Dolphins, at Steelers, home for Ravens, at Packers. First 4 games. All right, Dolphins are way better than they've been. Now and they don't win down there. Like if you go back and look, even when Tommy was there, they struggle in Miami. and it's going to be hot and humid on September 11th. Okay? Then they go to Pittsburgh. I think they're better than Pittsburgh, although maybe they're not. I mean, who knows who's better than who? None of us do. I think they're better than the Lions. And then the Ravens at home, and then they go to Green Bay. First 4 games, what's their record? Is he feeling the heat? Feeling the heat
No.
relatively? What's their record? 2-2? At Dolphins,
That
at
just
Steelers.
like froze me for a second.
Yeah.
Feeling the heat. I don't think Bill Belichick can ever feel
No,
the heat.
the heat, as I said it was the wrong thing to say. The heat meaning.
It's going to be.
Not
he's
just
like
heat in trouble.
he's the indestructible.
Well, look.
Right now, in the NFL.
Nobody
it's gonna be on
Joe
Mac
Paterno
Jones.
wasn't. Nobody's indestructible.
That's a lot different.
Well, but I mean,
That is
he's
a lot different.
He's in that same ilk, don't you think?
This would just be football.
It would take
not-
something like that to bring him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to go when he wants to go. Bob Kraft isn't going to run Belichick out. When I say
Because
feel
if
the
they
heat,
struggle, it's be like, well, Mac Jones didn't step forward like I thought. I don't have any good coaches on the staff. That's why I don't have offensive or defensive coordinators.
well, when I say feel the heat is the heat on the questions. Well, you don't have a coordinator. You're doing it differently this year. Why are you doing it differently this year? That kind of heat, not the heat that. Although, let's be very real. If they start out 1-3, I promise you, there will be whispers, and not even whispers. There'll be screaming heads in boxes on your TV. While there's 3-4 boxes on your television. Well, maybe the game's passed him by, and Brady's gone, and he's old, and what's he got to work for? And he's 70 whatever years old. And I promise, that would be the way it is. You don't think so?
I don't.
All right. I think so. Bill Belichick is 70 years old. Pete Carroll's 70 years old. Nick Saban's 70 years old. You think any of those guys are too old to be coaching? Because I don't.
Pete Carroll's the one that's feeling it the most lately.
Well, just because they're not, because he's in their transition, right? I mean, because
Well,
his
even when they
roster's-
had Russell Wilson.
yeah, but because the rest of his defense hasn't been the same.
Okay, but you have Russell Wilson.
I know.
That's the piece that's supposed to overcome things like that when you have a quarterback of that caliber.
All right, then you had a running back. Now he doesn't. 5 seasons, and they've been injury-beaten seasons. Chris Carson is his running back. He's calling it a career, 27 years old, lingering neck injuries. So basically, Seattle will release him, former 1,000-yard rusher. He failed his physical. And so that allows him to collect injury protection benefits, but he's done playing. It's a reality NFL. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he was an all-time great. This was a good running back in the National Football League. But this just shows you after 5 seasons, and look, he played a lot of seasons of football before that. I don't know if it's all in the NFL. It beats you up. And here's a guy, because, I mean, we'll get into what it does to them going into minicamp, and it's all in Rashad Penny now. But when you heard that, gosh, running back 5 years in, neck injuries, I mean, damn, right? Shows you how we talked all week about how short that window is.
Absolutely, and it's 5 years is a long time to play running back at the NFL. It really is.
Well, it's beyond
For
the average.
The guys that are not named Christian McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley, and then you look down and you're like, oh, they've missed a lot of time.
It's 2 full seasons each.
As well.
Yeah.
It is a really taxing position. And once you have that neck injury, like big man and feet, like, uh-oh.
Running backs and necks, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, big man and feet. It lingers. It's there for a long time. This was just a bummer to me. And I don't know Chris Carson at all. I liked the way he played. I thought he came out of nowhere. He was an Oklahoma State guy, but I thought when he ascended, I'm like, wow. I just look everything you heard about his work ethic. He's the guy that wasn't the highly drafted guy, and a lot of running backs who succeed in the National Football League really have that story. But he grew up playing this game hard, and it took its toll on him. And I'm glad that there's going to be some compensation for him. This has been a big conversation on our program this week, but there are injury protection benefits. I don't know how much he's going to get. We talk about this, but a guy 5 years in the NFL, there is pension at 3, so he will have some benefits. But this is everything we've talked about this week, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It really, and there it is, and he's done. All right, 505-246-0610. I want to get into a little bit on the Kevin Durant conversation to Boston. Jaylen Brown, who is the name most frequently and premier name mentioned coming back from the Celtics if that trade happens, finally spoke on that yesterday. What he has to say, and what I'll tell you what I think of that. I'm curious where you are. That's coming up next. I ask you all the time who's watching your home. And then every single day we hear about more property crime and you see about it. IPS watches my home, International Protective Service. They watch homes and businesses in the Albuquerque area because property crime's on the uptick, because officer shortage continues, and because for about $5 a day, you can have private security and have the good guys watch your home. Back in 2006 is when Aaron started providing security for homeowners in Fort Hills. And all these years later, now homeowners, business owners all over Albuquerque trust IPS to protect what they've worked so hard to build. You go out of town, they'll pick up newspapers and mail and roll garbage cans to the curb back. I was out of town last week. Addie had a package delivered. They picked it up so the porch pirates didn't get it and brought it back to the house the other day when I was home and made sure that it gets there. They do that. They watch your home and keep your place safe. Committed to our city and to your protection. Call 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or online at ipsglobal.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NNAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. we're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
On air look, Aaron Rodgers showing up to camp looking like Nick Cage. Can do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants.
I mean, I don't know. Is he won enough to do that? I guess he can. Making $50 million a year.
He's doing all right.
People tell me, oh, he's the most talented quarterback ever. He's the best. He's really good. To me, he's not like the most talented quarterback ever. He's really good. He's really good. I don't know. The most talented just got to win more than one Super Bowl, doesn't he? Ever? And
That's usually the conversation.
And we're getting to that point in his career where
I think there's difference in that conversation.
Look. I watched Dan Marino. I think Dan Marino was more talented. I think John Elway was. I think he was more. Look, Aaron Rodgers is really good, and I like his game. But is there, if there's pressure, is it internal? Does he feel it? Do you think he cares about his legacy?
Yes, I think everyone does.
Okay.
Yes.
He's 38, 37. Are we running out of time?
Yes.
To get another, the NFC's. Well, everybody tells me how great the AFC is. Rams are still pretty good. Tom Brady's in the NFC. Does he have to win another one? Not just get to another one to cement himself. He's won one. Right?
Yeah, that's how you go from one of the most talented ever to one of the best ever. Because and this is what happens all the time, is your talent gets lost because you don't have championships in whatever sport it is. Mike Trout, one of the most talented baseball players ever, but he's never going to be talked about one of the greatest ever because he didn't win. So to me, those are two different conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder where the pressure this year. Like they were the 1 seed last year. They had a home game against a 49er team led by Jim Garoppolo. And they scored 3 points in their one playoff outing. He wears that, doesn't he? Until he races that in January, doesn't he wear that? He can MVP again this year, right? But he wears that because regular season is great. You know, Peyton Manning, we had this conversation, was for a long time until he won his second. And there's plenty of you who tell me he didn't win his second. Well, he kind of did. But had this moniker like he was the best regular season quarterback ever. And he was. He was putting up stupid numbers, and he was getting beat by Tommy every year. Or Roethlisberger, right? I think there's a lot on it, whether you buy into it or not. And I think he's feeling it. And I think he realizes, damn. Now, if he does it this year, and he does it without Devontae Adams and elevates some of these guys that he's got as receivers, and Alan Lazard becomes an all-pro player, and some of these guys that are there, Sammy Watkins is there. Okay, and the good on you. And yes, you elevate. Aaron Rodgers, do we say Brett Favre is one of the best ever?
No.
Who's a better quarterback, Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers?
Better quarterback, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Just straight taking care of the football, making the plays. I think
you're right.
Brett Favre, for his style of play that era, I think he's a little underrated for what he did. But
because he only won one.
Russell Wilson doesn't Russell Wilson
not because
have
he only won one.
Drew Brees has one.
12 NFC playoff wins. I don't care about Super Bowls all the time in this conversation about necessarily who's the better, most talented player.
I think most people do.
Everyone else does.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if that's the way you look at it, then we can never talk about anyone other than Tom Brady.
Yes. That's why when I say my eye test tells me, and just what I remember, Favre was really good. I think Rodgers was better. I think Elway was better. I think Marino was better. Like just physically better, arm strength, quarterback, making decisions, elusiveness, all great winners. The Manning one's really, really crazy. Because when we have these quarterback conversations, I don't hear Peyton's name a lot anymore. Do you?
No. And this is one, too, where straight talent, like Elway, those guys were built different because they were playing a different game. Because you look at John Elway, and you're saying, wait, a dude who completed 55% of his passes, like in his prime seasons, is one of the most talented guys ever. No,
yeah,
but it's kind of the way the game was constructed. That you look at his athleticism, when he needed it, the drive, big-time moments, got it done.
Yeah, he did. Marino, unbelievable. Well, he never won a Super Bowl. Only got to one. I got it. No, I got it. Where does Peyton play in this conversation? He's got to, doesn't he?
Most talented players ever, or like best quarterbacks?
Yeah, well, best quarterbacks.
Because I think he's in that conversation with
He
Rodgers.
has to be.
There wasn't a time in Peyton Manning's prime where you're like, well, he just can't do that. Like, he made the throws. He could make it
Always
throw.
did. Always made the big play most cerebral, whatever that means. All right, you're on the phones. We're going there when we come back. Top of the hour break. It's 8:30, Sebastian Noel. Andy Avalos, Boise State's head football coach at 9. Josh Sushan, 9:30. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, A. Marie, the host of Name 3 Wagers and Name 3 Players. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Of the year, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Don't sweat the technique.
I don't know how we got into best quarterbacks ever. I guess I led us astray, but the conversation's gone from Elway to Manning to Favre to Aaron Rodgers. I guess all of it is, after Brady conversation. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. You can get in at 505-246-0610. Emails are coming in at Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or J.J. at sportsanimalabq.com on the text line, which is also 505-246-0610. Somebody said, congrats, A-Marie. You're the best. I'll be listening to the new show for sure. A-Marie's got new shows starting on Saturday at 11 and Sunday at 9 a.m.
When do they start?
Thanks, guys. Next week.
Like, not this coming weekend?
Not this Saturday, but the Saturday after. First Saturday in August.
That's huge. All right, let's go to the phones. 505-246-0610. Hello, Wayne.
Hey, I agree with JJ. You're playing with semantics a little bit, right? Because I think there's a difference between talent and who's one of the best. Because I think Michael Vick was probably one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever play, but I don't think he really won a lot. I do believe he was more talented than a lot of quarterbacks who won. I mean, even Fran Tarkenton back in the days, he was definitely more talented. Even Peyton Manning's dad was pretty talented too. I mean, you win a lot, even though it's more about the dynamics in the team and also your football IQ. I think someone could be some of the most talented players, but I think what makes you successful is your football IQ. And I think that's why, like, Elway and Manning, Peyton Manning won later in their career. Even Brett Favre won later in his career.
Brady.
Not necessarily because of their talent. Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course, we're all comparing to Brady, but Brady's football IQ is what's making him successful. I think that's why a lot of these quarterbacks, despite their talent may be diminished as the years go on, but their football IQ gets better. And that's what wins, I think, more Super Bowls than anything else. It's not necessarily your talent. It's when to make the right decisions, when to make the right throws, how to build a team, the dynamics around the team. I mean, we look at all these athletes before, I mean, especially receivers, how talented they are, but if they're not good in the locker room and they're not building the camaraderie, then you're going to have a lot of issues. So I think when we look at great overall quarterbacks, we have to look at a lot of those other dynamics associated. But when we look at talent itself, I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that were probably a lot more talented than Tom Brady's ever been. But it's not about that when we're talking about the greatest all time. So I think we're definitely playing with semantics a lot when it comes about talent and great quarterbacks. So I think when you're deciding that, I think you need to look about, okay, well, are we defining a great quarterback or are we defining a great athlete? And that's when we start splitting hairs. But it's a good topic. I know you kind of got caught a lot of tangential a little bit, but I do like what you guys are talking about, because I 100% agree with JJ. It's semantics where you're talking about talent versus great quarterback, but
that's really
definitely a good conversation to bring up. But
thanks,
either way, guys, take care.
No, appreciate you. So can both of these things be true? I think we all agree that quarterback in the National Football League is not only the most important, essential position in all of sports, certainly in all of American sports, but I would argue all of sports, right? It's more important than a hot goaltender in hockey or in soccer. It's more important than a starting pitcher. Do we agree? Right? Because you're playing every day, every game. Can it also be that it is the most forgiving physically? Meaning, you can play longer, to his point, if you are smarter. That you can smart your way into being better. Like you can smart your way into being a better pitcher. I think Greg Maddux was great at that, right? He was just a professor out there. You can smart your way into being a better point guard later in your career. I mean, obviously, you still have to have your physical skills. You can't play if you're not physically good enough. But as your skills deteriorate, if you were at that elite level and you come down to a mortal level, right?
Yeah.
Can they both be true that you can extend because, like look
It's
at
the easiest-
it's Peyton at the end.
Physically,
Yeah.
outside, it's the easiest position that's on the field the majority of the time.
Physically.
Doesn't mean that playing it is easy.
So when you
But-
say physically,
Because there's plays, no one touches you.
yeah, but is it harder to make a throw into that small window than it is to cover a receiver or to beat a?
Well, weren't you just talking about physicality of it? That's what I was referencing.
Yeah, I'm
Not-
thinking more the whole package of it.
Because
So-
you just were referencing an extended career.
Yeah.
It's because you're not
Yeah.
putting your head down and running into defensive line.
And hurting your neck and having to retire when you're. Yeah, no, I get that. Can they both be true? Because I don't know if it's easy physically. Like, are you getting hit less?
Then that's the one thing that's really impressive about Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's not just the way he understands the game, the way he trains. He's in the best shape of his life.
At 45.
At 45. He did not look like this in college. You look at him in college, you're like, that's a pudgy quarterback.
This was Barry Bonds. You tell me he's on steroids.
Well, he's skinny.
He
So he's not, doesn't have like
His head didn't increase 5 sizes.
But it's not just the mental game that Brady plays. Like, we're watching a dude who still makes the majority of throws. You don't look at Brady because he didn't have who had the neck injury at the end, Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And it really debilitated him in that last season, and he got by via smarts. Tom Brady still got that talent, and I think that's what's changing
making
too. It's
throws.
not just the mental side of the game, which I guess now you understand why there's a 4-hour study clause for Kyler Murray in his contract, but these guys are able to take care of themselves differently than they've done in the past. There's always that, like, out of nowhere in shape guy, like, man, how is this guy doing it? But now all these guys are doing it.
Lenny sent me a note on the Belichick stuff. Do the coordinators need to study film 4 hours per week independently per contract? David, good morning to you.
Hello. At the very least, I'm kind of frustrated about the conversation, but Marie kind of canceled my talking to her. She ultimately wanted the winning lottery numbers. Can you give her these numbers, 7, 29, 60, 63, and 66, and 15? Those are yesterday's winning lottery numbers.
Can I give them to you? What are you asking?
No, ultimately, it's kind of funny, but anyway, Johnny Carson said, it's a bad joke if you have to explain it. Anyway, the reason I was calling is the discussion about the quarterbacks. It's a team sport. You can go through the lore and the history and the data and the details. I think there's one player, or there's one individual who made the Broncos a Super Bowl winning team, and it wasn't a player. Have any idea who I'm thinking?
Wasn't a player?
Was not a player.
Say it again.
Was the one person who made the Denver Broncos a winning team, a Super Bowl winning team.
Mike Shanahan?
Shanahan. And the reason is because everybody who knows football says the hotshot quarterback was controlled by Reeves, and ultimately, once they were down in a game, Reeves let him loose, and then ultimately went on to then win games. He was talented, but the kicker is he was not in a team that had Davis or running game. It was Shanahan that added that running game that ultimately made them capable. Jump ahead years, Kubiak is Shanahan's coordinator, who then becomes the coach. People think that it's Kubiak's coaching of a system that's very similar to ultimately Shanahan that proves it's a team sport. what team has lost until recently? The losingest Super Bowl team in the NFL was the Broncos, with the widest margin, the hotshot quarterback in that year, and that included Elway and Manning. So they were ultimately having a problem with the idea that the hotshot quarterback who's talented, who is the focal point, can come in and win the game. Last comparison, Bradshaw, 4 wins, has never been one of the best ever thought to be the most talented quarterback in the league. In fact, he's low on that list. Roethlisberger, also on that list, who lost to Rodgers, has 2 wins. In which case, they both win because of team.
Yeah.
And I think the conversation is missing the fact that it's a team sport.
Well, of course it is. Okay. Yeah, and I understand that. It's not intentionally missing the fact that it's a team sport. It's obvious that we're talking. I mean, when you talk about position, who's the best quarterback? I mean, that's really the conversation. I think in a large part where this was going was who's the most talented.
In fact, the last thing, Manning was thought to be cuttable, and Osweiler was thought to be good as Manning. If you talk to Denver fans, they'll never admit that in his Super Bowl winning year, Manning's stats were as bad as Osweiler.
Yeah, but
ultimately, and everybody knows, you can compare the stats, that Osweiler's stats were bad, but the Manning, there's a game against the Chargers. They have to maintain their 1 seed. Yeah. Osweiler has interceptions, and ultimately in comes Manning to save the day, save the 1 seed. That's when they go on to win the Super Bowl. Denver fans, to a person, tell me Osweiler was throwing interceptions not because of anything he was doing. It was just a strong San Diego defense that was causing those interceptions.
I like that.
But who gets the credit?
Well,
Manning, because he comes in and saves the day.
Yeah, because
jump ahead later that season. Who wins the Super Bowl? The Broncos, because of the defense.
That's right.
Well, Manning was horrible in that game.
That's right.
No.
Yeah. All right. No, good points. Thank you, David. I appreciate you. So,
dude, that's the whole point of the conversation we just had, where I was like, all right, there's 2 different things here. There's the resume of a quarterback, which includes championships, the team, and then the straight talent breakdown. So he's frustrated, but that was the exact conversation we were just having, is that it's 2 different things. The resume is team-based, where you at, versus just straight individual talent.
Which is a lot eye test.
Straight individual talent, Aaron Rodgers is in discussion with anyone we've seen play this game. Now, resume, championships, backing it up, doesn't have that right now.
Ed just sent me this meme on Terry Bradshaw. They don't consider me an elite quarterback. I call my own plays. I won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years, twice back-to-back. No radio in my helmet. No rules protecting me. No Spygate, no Deflategate. Just me and my men.
And you know why?
Is because you didn't see him? Because a lot of people didn't see him? I'm going to tell you that's why.
If you don't bring him up, it's not being disrespectful in the moment. We're caught up. We're not talking about what happened in 1967 every day. 1970 every day.
It was not. It was the 70s, yeah.
Yeah, in the 70s.
Yeah.
So absolutely, it's out of sight, out of mind. Should Terry Bradshaw be in this conversation? Yes.
Look, I mean, I don't know how good Johnny Unitas was. I hear he was insane, like really, really good, right? But I didn't see him. I don't know how good Bart Starr was. I know he won a lot. But so we're comparing what we saw, and that's why a lot of the conversation doesn't include guys like him, guys like the guys from that era, even Marino. I mean, even Marino, because for the people like when you have the LeBron,
like Marino is Aaron Rodgers, right?
Except for he didn't win one.
But he just doesn't have the resume. But you're like, man, this dude.
I'm just telling you, Marino was big, tall, strong, knew the game, made the throws, just didn't get Super Bowls. Now, watch out, then he couldn't have been that good. The defenses were never that good.
Yeah, that's
but yeah, he that's what he's lacking, and he can't get over that. All right, 505. How do we get here?
And it's also it's the most important position. It's most analyzed position. I think it's most overanalyzed position in sports at times, because you can be good, but people don't think you're good because you're not elite, and this is where you go.
Yeah. All right, bottom of the hour means 8:30. Sebastian Noel is going to be with us. We're going to talk high school stuff, Gladiators, 9 o'clock. Andy Avalos, Boise State's head football coach, 9:30 this morning. Josh Sushan, the voice of your Albuquerque Isotopes. So I ask you a lot, what's your financial goal? Or goals, plural. You know how to get there? I suggest you get a hold of Kirtland Federal Credit Union because they've got products and personal service that can get you wherever it is you want to be. If you're planning for retirement, investing for retirement starts with Kirtland Financial Services, so you can talk to an advisor today and start walking the path to a confident future. Are you looking to make some home improvements, bathrooms, floors, kitchen, turn the value of your home into cash? Use that for home improvements, upgrades, and more. Need a new home? Choose from a wide variety of mortgage programs. Partner with a team of friendly and knowledgeable mortgage experts. Looking to buy a car? Competitive rates, unbeatable service. They'll help you drive away in the vehicle you want with payments with which you can live. So what's your goal and how can they help you today? Stop by any branch or visit Kirtland Federal Credit Union online at kirtlandfcu.org. That's kirtlandfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. See your representative for complete details.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rees is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
It's my quarterback. Quarterback.
No days off.
Man, it's Cincinnati.
No days off.
Boy, oh boy, is there a lot of screaming about the Kyler Murray contract clause. Lenny hit it up this morning, 4 hours of film per week. People are laughing at it. People are joking on it. Everybody's talking about it except for who? Except for Kyler Murray. Is it possible that Kyler Murray saw that or his representative saw that in the contract? To me, it's not plausible that they didn't see it, okay? And they're like, yeah, whatever, 4 hours a week. Yeah, I mean, I'll do that. Yeah, signed, check. That wasn't even a point of contention. Is it possible that the narrative is, well, I've never heard about that before. That's never been in anybody's contract. Kyler must be lazy. Kyler must not study. There's got to be a problem. That's why they put it in there. And this is mandating him because if he only studies 3 hours and 47 minutes 1 week, we can void his $230 million contract. Is it possible that Kyler just said, bleep it? And I'm really kind of curious, like if Kyler Murray's hurt and he's not playing, does he have to do 4 hours of film study that week? Can they void his contract if he doesn't that week? Is it there's so many questions on this, but is it possible that he just looked at it and said, yeah, whatever?
I think it is. Like, it's part of the contract. They're like, boom, I'm getting my $105 million guaranteed. Let's go. And you didn't realize what kind of PR you're going to get.
They're killing it.
When that gets out there, because everyone just now thinks Kyler Murray didn't study and is lazy. And they're like, oh, remember that quote where he said he doesn't watch a lot of film? Well, of course. They had to put this in there.
We just watched a conversation, and the argument was that it is hurting black quarterbacks. That all the black quarterbacks who had to endure the narrative that you're not smart enough, you can't play, you should be a receiver, you should be a running back, you can't play quarterback. And obviously we've gotten to a point, I think, where 99% of us accept, not even accept, it's not even an issue, right? I mean, he's a player. He can be I don't know if you remember that time, okay? There's a conversation now that it's hurting black quarterbacks and putting this stigma. I don't know that's – well, my mind didn't go there. I mean, did yours? Ryan Leaf had this same what's the word? The reputation that he didn't study very much. He wasn't.
No, but it's for the black quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Even into the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying.
They
were battling that stigma.
100%. I'll even take you into the 90s. Yeah.
Like a lot of times, they're not smart enough. Oh, it's just an athlete at the position. Like all that mess.
But do you think this is a stigma now that this hurts
I think
black quarterbacks in general?
I think where it's coming from is dudes that remember that.
Fair enough.
As opposed, I don't think it's a stigma right now because Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson are getting paid and they're playing. I think it's guys that maybe got into the game at a different time that had to see and deal with that.
Yeah. JT, you want to talk about quarterbacks? What's up, JT? How you driving?
Oh, just rolling to Alamogordo.
Attaboy. What's up?
Hey, it's an A-Marie takeover, and I just had to call in and congratulate her and tell her I'll be listening.
A-Marie takeover. It's beautiful.
She's taking over. Oh. But let me be quick because I know you're going to be up against it. Hey, this quarterback deal, it's splitting hairs, Jeff. Okay.
Of course it is.
We can talk the whole about. Okay, so when a quarterback has a great defense and they win 10-6, they're a manager, right?
No, they're a Super Bowl winning quarterback is what they are.
Okay, I thought they were a game manager.
Yeah.
Okay, when a quarterback has no defense and he scores 50, he's the best throwing quarterback ever. Okay, there's about 10 quarterbacks for me that are, the greatest ever, but everybody's different. Elway was, for me, the best the biggest, the best, do it without a defense for years, and Dan Marino right there, okay? Steve Young was the fastest, the most athletic, the most elusive, the smartest. Roger Staubach was just on point. So, I mean, I just get frustrated with all this. Who's this thinking quarterback and athletic and Lamar Jackson's just a runner. Okay, so anyway, I'm frustrated about that, but I'm here to bang this drum, this Lobo football drum, okay? We only have a month and a little bit of time left, okay? So all you people sitting on the fence who don't know what's going on over there, okay? The coaches are working their arses, like you say.
Yep.
And the players, so we as fans
get out there.
Got to do our part.
Yep.
Okay? So we need to get our tickets and get going and get to supporting this team. But I got to go.
All right, see you. Be careful out there. All right, look, this is why that conversation is evergreen. You will be having this conversation in a year, in a decade. I'm just telling you, you're always going to have this conversation. And and the reality is there's no answer. The answer is whoever you think, and you can argue with your buddy about your guy's the best and his guy's the best. There's no way. Well, Tom Brady is. I mean, you'll never convince me Tom Brady is the physically best quarterback I've ever seen. Now, is the overall package cerebral? Did he win? Did he make the big plays? Does he have the it? Yeah. Does that make him the GOAT? Look, 7 championships makes him the GOAT. It just does. But was he the physically best quarterback you've ever seen? Not me. Elway was better physically to me, Marino. You can have the conversation that Rodgers was. That's why what he just said, you'll have this conversation until the day they put you in a box.
And it's also the most impactful. And you can't just downplay it like it doesn't mean anything. You find that dude and see what happens to your franchise.
That's right. Sebastian Noel next. We'll talk high school stuff, Gladiators as well. Hey, for a while now, I've been talking to guys about the benefits of NuMale. Now the message is for men and women. Guys, NuMale's there for you. It's going to be there for you to help with many things. Like they've got the state-of-the-art testosterone replacement. Men feel better. They take care of issues like fatigue and depression and even erectile dysfunction. But do you know that NuMale specializes in hair restoration for men and women? The number's 505-652-1688, or you can go to NuMale.com. That's NuMale.com. NuMale has options. Platelet-rich plasma hair therapy. It uses your own platelets to stimulate stem cells deep in your hair follicle. It stops hair loss and regrows hair. They have an FDA-cleared clinical hair restoration laser proven to regrow hair, and a NeoGraft hair transplant which produces natural-looking results in less than a week, and there's no linear scarring. The treatments work well for both men and women who want a natural, thicker head of hair and no side effects. NuMale is in Albuquerque. Give them a call, 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or online at NuMale.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Sports Animal.
One season ends, another begins. That's how it works, huh? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, Marie, and Adrian. We'll get back to your phone calls in a little bit. The voice of ProView Networks, the voice of the people, joins us as he does at 8:30 on Wednesday. Sebastian Noel, Gladiator season ends. Camps open for high school football. Good day to you, sir. How you living?
Good morning, guys. It's good. We just keep rolling, right?
Well, a rough end for the Gladiators, certainly. And you talked last week about how they were up against their nemesis, how Arizona was the standard, how the Rattlers kind of have owned them, and boy, did the Rattlers own them the other day.
Yeah, and I mean, the gap, unfortunately, is widening, right? If you look back at the playoff game to end the season last year, and then you look at the 4 just absolute beatdowns this season, the gap's widening. The glaring thing that has come out in those games is that our team's not very good when they get behind, right? And I think the body, and I went to that game personally, so the body language, just everything, it wasn't good at halftime. As soon as they went down, it wasn't good, and as good as Ramon Atkins has been, a playoff game in an NBA arena of 8,000, 9,000 fans, maybe that was a little too much to ask for a rookie quarterback, right, against the best team. So definitely not the way you want to end the season, but if you're optimistic, 2 years in the IFL, 2 years in the playoffs, that's a great building block.
Yeah, I'm not going to claim to know that league, but how do you close that gap? I mean, they've got, to your point, Arizona's got the arena, they got the fan base, they've got the history. How do you close that gap if you're Duke City?
Well, it takes talent. They're going to have to evaluate this roster and see where we can improve. Forget that last game. I know it's frustrating, but the Rattlers played so well. It was just all aspects of the game. I don't know if a healthy Nate Davis playing his best game could have got us to the finish line that day, because that's how good Arizona was, right? And they had a bye week that week to prepare. So I think it starts, of course, with, all right, who's coming back, right? You got to evaluate the roster. I think obviously you have a huge hole to fill with the face of your franchise, Dello Davis, being gone. So you have to address that.
What happened there?
I think it's just some off the field stuff that he asked for his release, and that's kind of what happened, right? Not a lot of details have been released there, but we'll call it irreconcilable differences, right?
All right, I'm down.
But then you have to also look at where else can you improve the team, right? And so this should be a very interesting offseason, probably the most important offseason we've had around here since the franchise's inception. And then you look at the coaching piece as well, right? Is Coach Greg's going to stay around, and will they remove that interim tag, or are they going to go hunting for a coach with some experience? And that's always been kind of a interesting situation, the coaching situation. So a lot to unpack there during the offseason.
Sebastian Noel's with us on the opening drive.
Yeah, Sebastian, we know that there's always a lot of moving pieces with the Gladiators, just the financial situations, everything that's going along. But what we've seen them be able to do, go out to Rio Rancho Event Center, the home that's become, and to challenge, try to get, of course, some of that fan base from Albuquerque. But just with where they are, just venue, time in league, how do you feel about just the future, just in terms of Duke City being able to be around as an IFL franchise?
Oh, I have no doubt they'll be around. I have no doubt they'll be in the playoffs, but that's not their goal. Their goal is not to be in the playoffs. Their goal is to beat the big teams, right? And the big teams are the Arizona Rattlers, the Massachusetts, the Frisco. That's their goal. I do think, since you brought it up, and to tie back to Jeff's question, part of closing that gap is attendance, and that's just not going to happen at Rio Rancho. I think that, being honest, this year attendance would have been much, much better. They're just, history has proven that. So I think that part of the equation will be very tough if we continue to play our home games out in Rio Rancho.
It's a problem, man, because I know the building's treated them well. The building is a better building, and they work with you better on scheduling than Tingley has. It almost feels like that's their permanent home now. And I know I might not be right there.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt Rio Rancho, the arena there, checks every box. You're absolutely 100% right. They check every box, but fans don't go there. That's the problem, right? At Tingley, that was our home. That's where the team drew their biggest crowds. Attendance was growing towards the end of the last year at Tingley, and that's just the fact. But you're 100% right. Rio Rancho checks every box.
Except for getting people there. Sebastian Noel's with us, the voice of ProView Networks, the voice of the people.
Well, Sebastian, as we move on from the IFL season, start looking ahead to schools starting up. And before we get into football, there was some news. La Cueva, their boys basketball coach, Brian Joyce, resigned, and we've seen La Cueva last few years kind of getting back to that beast that we expect. How big of a job is that for someone?
Well, it's the premier job in APS. There's no doubt about it, right? And so, especially with the roster of guys they have coming back, Exodus Ayers, Seth Yates, a couple of big guys, JoJo Gilliford. That's a team that's ready. You pencil them into the Final Four next year, that's for sure. And they're probably a favorite to to maybe win the championship. And traditionally, that's always been the best APS basketball job. It just never comes open, right? Now it's open twice in
3 years, yeah.
So that's the job in APS, right? And you combine that with the talent they have right now, it's interesting. I mean, I know. Look, I can tell you, an offer was made to a certain alum, and I believe he's not going to take it. So,
is he a quite prominent alum that's kind of been around town working in athletics?
Oh, come on, let's just let the cat out of the bag. He's won a championship coaching my Del Norte United. So, I think that's obviously the guy they want. I mean, I don't know if he's willing to, make that move and apply for that job. And so, the search maybe continues. But whoever gets that job, and, I'm sure there's quite a few interested, they're going to have a contender on their hands right away.
All right. Camps open. Biggest story headed into preseason high school football camps in the Metro is what?
Can anybody beat Cleveland? Will they have a perfect season?
Will they have a perfect season? I mean, that's really how good they are.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the question marks are they do face some out-of-state teams, right? So we don't know as much about out-of-state teams as we should probably, but that's let's rephrase that. Can any in-state team beat Cleveland, right? I think that's the big question. And who else kind of steps up, right? I think La Cueva will be right there. Rio Rancho, it'll be interesting. Is there a fourth team to join that party from the city, or is it one of the southern teams? I think those are the preseason questions. I think the questions are we going to get enough good football this year?
Yeah,
is there going to be any competitive balance at all?
Well, does the South rise? Because it's been, look, when I got here, it was all about Southern football. It was all Las Cruces football and Clovis. And it really has not been that way for the last 5 to 10 years. And I know there's a lot of pride down there. I know they still think that they own it, and they don't. Does the South get better?
Well, certainly not from a Clovis standpoint. Clovis athletics right now, they've all but killed that thing off with all the coaching changes and everything. I think Las Cruces is interesting. I mean, they graduated a lot. Centennial seems to carry the torch these days for them. Coach Ocampo does such a great job. Hobbs might be a team to watch. I know they get their quarterback back, but the Southern schools, they can't hang their hat on that anymore. I mean, it's been a Cleveland, Rio Rancho domination the last few years, and I see that continuing.
All right, ProView Networks has done a whole lot this week, man. You guys have been active as heck. The Connie Mack World Series, we're going to talk some of that later in the week. I'm headed up to Farmington on Friday. But, man, there's been a whole lot of baseball that you guys have been doing, and the broadcasts have looked terrific.
Yeah, that's available on Comcast Channel 26. Also, go to our website, find a link to the stream, because there is a website where you can stream that. And there's been some really nice crowds out at Ricketts and some really good games. And there's a lot of local kids playing. I know Rio Grande's Eduardo Cardenas participated in the home run derby before all the festivities, so that was fun. So check that out. I mean, if you're a baseball fan, it doesn't get much better than Connie Mack.
You can go to Studio 519 ABQ, studio519abq.com, and then go on Watch Live, and it's got local stuff. You click down and Channel 26, and you can get it right there online if you don't have Comcast. Studio519abq.com, and it's all right there. All right, man, we'll catch up with you next week as we get closer and closer and closer to kicking off football season. Always good to have the conversation. Enjoy the week.
All right, guys, be good. Thanks.
Be well. Sebastian Noel, ProView Networks, Voice of the People. I've been watching some of the broadcasts on Studio519abq.com, and Adrian, your ProView Network team has been doing, just an insanely good job. The productions look great, and I'm looking forward to being part of it. I'm going to call the game on CBS Sportsnet, the championship game on Saturday, and looking forward to being up there and being part of that. So, Southern football. When you got here, it was all about that, wasn't it?
Well, yes.
And now it's not. It's a whole different world. All right, next, Brittany Griner testified today in a Russian court. What she had to say and what she said was not told to her when she was arrested. That's coming up next. Andy Avalos, Boise State's head football coach, at 9. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Staples is your one.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same.
All right, Brittany Griner, Phoenix Mercury star, U.S. Olympian, being detained in Russia for having cannabis oil cartridges in her luggage, which is illegal in that country, was in court and testified today. And she said that an interpreter, the language interpreter, when she was arrested, translated only a fraction of what was said, and that she was instructed to sign these documents without any sort of an explanation. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, A-Marie, and Adrian. So she was in the airport in Moscow in February where she was arrested. So she acknowledged earlier this month in court that she did have the vape canisters that had the cannabis oil, that she had no criminal intent. She testified this morning that she had a 13-hour flight from Moscow to Moscow from Arizona. She was recovering from COVID. She said she still does not know how the cannabis oil got into her bag. She said she packed in a haste. She was under a lot of stress. She was packing, and that she was prescribed by an American doctor cannabis to deal with pain that she has suffered from playing basketball. Cannabis, of course, is legal in the United States when prescribed, and legal in many states recreationally when it's not prescribed, but it is not legal in any form, in any way in Russia. So she was basically saying, look, I take this as a medication. It has less side effects, less negative effects than taking pain pills. But I don't know how it got in there. I was recovering from COVID. I had a long trip. I was under stress, and I don't know. So she also said, along with the interpreter, who she claims provided just a completely incomplete translation of what was being said, she was not explained her rights. She did not have access to lawyers. And she was instructed to sign these documents that are in Russian, and there was no explanation what they said, what they implied. She signed these documents, and then she said there were hours of proceedings after that. Just imagine, right? You're in Russia, here, sign here, you must sign here. What does it say? It says that you agree that what you are being taken in. Whatever. And so she didn't understand it. She handed her personal belongings to a lawyer, was led away in handcuffs, and got some partial translation of the allegations of what she was being arrested for.
Welcome to Russia.
It really sounds like a bad movie, but it sounds like Welcome to Russia.
Yeah.
Right? It sounds like everything that you have heard for as long as you've been alive about Welcome to Russia. On the prescription, on the I don't know how it got here, on the I take it, like, that's all wonderful, and I understand the point of, look, Your Honor, I'm not just here to get high. This is medication. I didn't mean to take it in, but it got in. Like this is why I use this. It's pain. And on the other side, like, we have Miranda rights in this country. You have to be read your rights. You have to understand why you're being detained. Again, guys, as harsh as this sounds, and I'm not hoping for any prolonged detainment. I want her to get out of there. She doesn't have the rights that we have when you get arrested in this country. They can do whatever the hell they want under their laws. And I'm listening to this and I'm going, this sucks, but I don't know how this is going to play with a Russian judge.
I don't think they care.
I don't think they care. Does it make you feel any different about her?
There's a chance that if a Russian judge is sitting there with like an earpiece and it's supposed to be, we're translating what she's saying, he's listening to a podcast. Russian judge podcast. Yeah. His favorite Russian comedy.
Or it could be Vladimir Putin in his ear saying, she shall sit here forever.
Who knows?
Yep. I guess there was a 90-minute court session today. And they brought in a Russian neuropsychologist And again, just imagine where this is coming from. And this Russian neuropsychologist testified to the Russian court about the worldwide use of medical cannabis, which is still illegal in Russia, but is being accepted more and more around the globe. And Britney's defense team submitted this doctor from the United States letter recommending that Britney use medical cannabis to treat pain. And again, I'm going to guess that they know.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Look, man, I'm just telling you what's going on. I know it doesn't matter.
It's like and it's crazy that they're actually like listening, or at least faking that they're listening to these things. And they kind of have to, right?
Yeah.
I guess just even though they don't care about international laws and the way they're perceived at all, but they're just kind of still going through a trial.
There was a Russian foreign ministry spokesperson, and again, imagine what that is. And this spokesperson said that the legalization of cannabis and medical recreational use in parts of the United States has no bearing on what's happening in Russia, period. That's great. It's legal where you are. It's not here. You broke our laws. And basically what they're saying is penalty for breaking our laws for that particular offense is 10 years. Like, and I know people are screaming and get her out, Joe. I don't know what you want anybody to do, man. Britney was in court today. All right, when we come back, Andy Avalos, Boise State's head coach. Broncos were picked first in their division again in football in the Mountain West. You will meet and hear from Andy Avalos next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
I'm Taylor Bashad.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence. texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
All right, as we run you up to college football's opening day, and we're getting closer and closer. Next week will be August, and so we'll be in football month for the Aggies and closer and closer for the Lobos. Giving you conversations from Mountain West Conference Media Day from coaches and players. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Boise State will be in town for the Lobos on a Friday night in September. It'll be the first league game of the year for the Lobos and the second game on the schedule. Broncos were 7-5 last year, were selected to play in the Arizona Bowl but did not play. In fact, JJ, I think they played in one bowl in the last 4 years, right?
Boise State's got some work to do.
Yeah,
Backing it all up.
That's backing up their brand, right? They played in that game in Texas, the the First Responders Bowl. They got lightninged out. Then they had the COVID year. They played in a bowl game, and then they didn't play the COVID year. They opted out the last 2 years. So it's been a while since they played a bowl game. Andy Avalos is their head coach. He's a former player at Boise State. Here's our conversation with Boise State's head man. Andy, happy second year at Boise State for you. You were telling me it just feels different in year 2. It's yours now, isn't it?
There's no question. It is definitely it is ours. It's our staff's. It's the environment we've been working hard to create so people can grow and thrive. And we're very excited about the work that the staff and obviously the players, more importantly, have put in and where we're at right now. Now we've got a huge month in front of us with the good old dog days of summer and fall camp.
So coaches use words like environment and culture, and I don't know if everybody understands what that means. So when you say it's the environment we want, what does that mean to the common person?
Well, I think the environment, one thing people throw around that C word all the time, culture, like, they throw it around like it's a credit card they don't have to pay back, but it's the environment that creates us, and that's what our norms are, that's who we become, that is what our culture is. So focusing on creating an environment within our facility and our training facility and within our family where people feel confident, comfortable, and where they know what the expectations are, what it is to come and compete every single day and the beyond when you walk through those doors.
Is there an extra burden, or maybe burden's not the right word, is there an extra weight at Boise State? There's a history in the past 2 decades of a standard, and you coming back into there, you knowing it intimately. Are you carrying a little extra weight to get that standard to a higher level?
Well, I think through my time there as a player and, position coach, coordinator, and now the role I'm in, I've never really focused on that, but focused on the things that we needed to do and having fun. Everybody right now during the summertime is training, they're lifting, they're running, they're doing all those things, they're running their skill instruction. How are we going to do it different? How are we going to have fun? How are we going to build a chemistry, a mentality that is going to set us apart? And I think when we focus on those things and we're all in on that, the rest is taking care of itself in the history of Boise State.
He's Boise State's football coach, Andy Avalos, with us.
And you mentioned that day-to-day mentality that you just have to have as a player and coach, but what's it like for you when you became the head football coach of the institution that you played at?
Well, I mean, number one, I'd been away from there for a couple years, so it was really, it took a month and a half to really find out where we're at, on multiple different levels. And some of the levels was new responsibility to me, where we're at from a resource standpoint and how are we going to improve those things? Where are we at from a roster standpoint? And where do we need to build depth? And obviously you can't do those things, in particular, a couple of those things, you can't do those things overnight. It takes time. But being diligent with the process to improve ourselves in all those different areas Now in year number 2, we're in a way different place in terms of the depth of our roster. We're in a different place in terms of the resources and the things we're able to take care of our players in terms of nutrition and meals and all those different things. So we're not there yet. We got to keep growing, and we got a lot of work left to do.
Speaking of culture, what's the culture shock like becoming a head coach? You probably have people you lean on, you talk to, but once you're in it, just a different responsibility that you have to go through in that position.
Yeah, so, as a coordinator, I was fortunate enough in a couple different roles to have responsibilities and be trusted to help the head coach with certain decision-making things and organizing certain things. But it's a whole different ballgame when you're the guy making all the decisions. Now, luckily enough, we got a support staff that is unbelievable, and we make decisions together. We lean on each other, and I think that provides comfort and confidence, no different than the team, the mentality to work together. But that takes time, right? That takes time working through different things, and we're very fortunate here that in year number 2, the good and the bad, we've worked through a lot of stuff in the first year that has brought us closer together, and we're just really excited to keep building forward.
Andy, what do you know now about being a coach that when we sat here 365 days ago, you thought but maybe you didn't?
Well, there's more responsibility, so the balance of that responsibility, how do you cut up the pie? How do you focus? What time of the year is it to focus on certain things? And within those times of the years, how are you going to slice up the pie? At the end of the day, we are coaches, and the team is the most important thing. But when you're also the CEO of a business, it is your responsibility to make sure that the resources are lining up and we're providing all the things that we need to run our operation the way it needs to be ran, in a first-class manner.
Boise State football coach Andy Avalos is with us. Football, I'm looking back at last year, and it was so many close games. I look at the Oklahoma State game, and I remember JJ and I talking about the better team didn't feel the better team won that day, but that's how it is. Do you look at last year? Is last year done, or do you look at last year and say we were that close, and now we're going to just get better this year?
We definitely keep it. The learning experience is fresh in our mind. We do talk about the whys and hows we need to train and how we need to prepare right now, today, tomorrow, this week, so that we can make up for those 2 inches, those 2 yards that maybe we were short by. And if we're consistent with that,
that close.
It was that close. So if we train a certain way every single day and we have fun doing it and we focus on those things, again, typically in the history of what we've done there, the rest will take care of itself.
Defensively for your team last year, fewest points per game allowed the last 9 seasons, and you look at just that margin, what was different about that defense last year that they played at such a high level?
Well, you know what? I think collectively, from a staff standpoint, I think our coaches do a really good job. We had some veteran players come back. We didn't have a lot of depth at certain positions. So what we bring forward to and what we've been working on this year is obviously building the depth in the fronts. I mean, there were some games we went in and we didn't have a 2 deep. We have a 2 deep that we feel confident about now, and we're working to build with some young guys at 3 deep. And so how we come together, the only thing that's going to take us off our path is ourselves. If we don't stay locked in and stay focused on the areas we need to grow and we can grow, then obviously you're going one of 2 ways. You're either growing or you're going the other way. So it's very simple. We've got talented players, extremely talented players, some violent players because it's defense and it's about a mentality too.
Where did that mentality come from yourself? You talked a lot about, just in a few minutes sitting here, just the detail, the focus. Is that something you always had, or is that something you learned along the way playing football or outside of football?
Well, it's a big deal. I mean, growing up and going to college at Boise State, we were taught that, and that's that's a big deal to us. That's why so many guys from Boise State become coaches or are in the industry in some form or fashion, because the amount of detail that goes in. How diligently we work is such a big deal to us. And if you get talented people and they work a certain way with an attention to detail, and consistently that happens, then the good things, then we didn't have that last year. And that's what is a big difference, is reestablishing that into the environment that we live in every single day. Last year, the staff was working hard to rebuild that into our environment. This year, the players are leading that in our environment. And we got a lot of work left to do, but we feel very confident about where we're at right now.
A few more minutes with Andy Avalos, the Boise State head coach. Interesting schedule. You open up with a Pac-12 team in Oregon State, and then you'll be in Albuquerque week 2 for a league game on a Friday night. Do you like having a league game early, or do you like playing 3, sometimes 4 non-conference games before you jump into league play?
Yeah, ideally, but obviously with the structures of schedules in these days and how they're rapidly changing with the realignment and stuff like that, each and every year you're sitting there waiting to see the schedule come out. What does it look like? Because that has a big deal on how we train too. We have short weeks. That's a short week. We're coming on off the first game, and it's a late game on the West Coast, and then coming into a short week and going on the road. And obviously, Danny's done an unbelievable job of that program and building it, and the progress that they've made from last year to this year is going to be tremendous. And so it's going to be an unbelievable challenge when we go down there.
Boise State's in the middle of I guess everybody's in the middle of the conversation. You and I were just talking about the realignment and how crazy things are. How much of that seeps into what you do on a daily, if anything? Obviously, you control what you control, you don't what you don't. But your program is mentioned frequently in regards to movement. I wonder how much attention you give that, how much input do you even have from a coaching standpoint?
From that standpoint, a lot of that falls on our administration. Jeremiah Dickey does an unbelievable job with the things behind the scenes that he's responsible for. And obviously on our higher leadership, the administration, the president within the university. So, for me, my job is to focus on what's in front of us right now. We can't lose sight of the opportunity we have this year with the team we have this year. And so staying locked in on that and making sure that that is our primary focus, just like it needs to be our players. Our players don't need to be worried about, the future years. We need to be focused on this year.
Lastly, I know what you're going to tell me about polls. What does it mean to your players? Right? You're going to tell me polls don't mean anything. We were picked first last year. We didn't finish first. What does it mean to your players? When you talk to them, and I had one coach tell us earlier today, we read our press clippings too much last year, and it beat us up. Boise State's a program with high expectations. You got a game in your second week. You just talked about it. You got a Pac-12 team against a team that was picked last. How do you get your players, the mind game with your players?
It's going to be cliche, but it is what it is. We control our internal. That means we control what we bring in. And so we don't let the external affect what our inner confidence and mentality is. We created ourselves. And we've learned lessons on when we've done that correctly and when we haven't done it. And very proud of how our team has stayed, whether it's individual accolades that have come out at the end of the year. At the end of the day, the body of work this year is going to make us feel really good if we work to put ourselves in a position to accomplish our goal, which is to be at the top of the mountain.
Always enjoy it. Congratulations on the success. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Go Broncos.
This is the Sports Animals big voice guy, Brian.
This is the home, your home.
All summer long.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Sports Animal.
Pretty intense dude, Andy Avalos. Him, Marcus Arroyo, they're very similar, don't you think, JJ?
They are.
Arroyo, View, and LD.
Avalos and really the Boise State guys, they're more of the we're just here so we don't get fined type. Like Marcus Arroyo, the conversation we had with him, the UNLV head coach, there's some more depth to it. These Boise State's a lot more meat and potatoes. Just get the job done, move on.
He said unbelievable number of times, and Rod said Christmas in July, Jeff, I'm in heaven, Jefferson. How many times did Andy Davalos mention culture and we worked hard? A few. I think what you heard out of that was a little bit of urgency, right? 7-5 is not going to cut it at Boise State. Lobos go 7-5, they build a statue here, right? I mean, Danny Gonzalez is going to be revered, turning this thing around, getting them back to a bowl game, figuring things out. 7-5 at Boise State, and you've got their numbers in front of them. Their games that they lost last year were pretty close. Weren't all 5 of their losses were pretty close losses? The Oklahoma State game they should have won. They missed a field goal at the end. They lost. And Oklahoma State was in the conversation for the CFP down in the final week.
Lost by 5 at UCF, 1 Oklahoma State, 10 to Nevada, 7 against Air Force, and
San Diego State.
11 was at San Diego State.
San Diego State got them pretty good. So 3 of them were one possession games. The Oklahoma State game was, I mean, and I thought Central Florida they lost. They blew a big lead, right? That was early in the season. They went down there and had them all night and lost. So I heard a little urgency in there. They bring back a quarterback that wasn't at media day. Bachmeier's back, correct?
Yes.
So when we talk about the quarterbacks in this league, and it was Logan Bonner from Utah State, who was terrific last year. It's Jake Haener, who was fantastic. Chevin Cordero, who I'm not sure what I think Chevin Cordero is. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's of the ilk of Bonner or Haener or Bachmeier. I think Bachmeier is one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this league.
I think we're going to see that this season. He's more of your prototypical quarterback. I think Chevin Cordero can be one of the most effective quarterbacks in this league. I just love his his overall talent. He's a true dual threat. I mean, he's not as polished of a passer as with other guys, but he can make so many plays outside the pocket with his legs. That's why I've always been a fan of Chevan Cordeiro, going back to his time at Hawaii and now watching him this season with San Jose State. And it's tough, too, because option quarterbacks never get the credit they deserve. Hazik Daniels is in that conversation with what they ask him to do.
Hazik Daniels,
how he runs that offense. And he's the dude.
That's Air Force.
The Air Force quarterback, running the option offense, exceptional with his legs. But
That's really
when
you're right.
when he hits passes, he's like 8 of 10 for 200 yards.
Yeah.
And he hits those open shots over the top.
So I'm interested to see what Chevan Cordeiro does in San Jose because I've watched quarterbacks thrive under Brent Brennan. And in Hawaii, he was playing for a defensive-minded head coach. Now, certainly they had offensive coordinators there, and there were moments there. But there were also moments where he got benched, where they tried to do other things. Got to know Chevan briefly because we were such limited access during the COVID year in 2020 when Hawaii was in the New Mexico Bowl when we played it in Frisco. And he was really good in that game, by the way. Now, their defense and special teams were probably better than he was, and Calvin Turner was the offensive MVP of that game. But, no, you're right on Hazik Daniels. Am I missing anybody? The transfer that San Diego State got is going to be really interesting to see what he does. But the quarterback's coming back. I mean, I don't know how you rate him. If you've got Bonner 1 and Hainer 2 or Hainer 1 and Bonner 2. Well, I mean, I think I give the edge to Hainer, but I don't even know why. There's an it factor to Logan Bonner that is really, I think, pretty special.
It's kind of however you're feeling that day between Logan Bonner and Jake Hainer. Both are fantastic quarterbacks. I think Hazik Daniels, I'd rank him number 3.
Okay, that's fair.
No,
yeah, that's fair.
Over
Bachmeier?
Over Bachmeier. All right, this is what we are asking you to do. We're not talking about, in this conversation, who's the best traditional quarterback prospect. It's just the Mountain West Conference who are the most effective quarterbacks. I believe he's a top 3 quarterback in that. And then Hank Bachmeier, I think you're going to see some consistency, stability for Boise State this season. You have the experience of Chevan Cordeiro. You mentioned San Diego State bringing in the transfer from Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, yeah.
So Braxton Burmeister.
Yeah.
So they're confident, and he's going to win the job.
No,
Nevada's going to have a brand new quarterback.
Yep.
The dude who's even bigger than Carson Strong that they talked about all the time, Nate Cox, could win the job. I'm actually very intrigued about Wyoming and Andrew Peasley,
who
transferred from Utah State, because Logan Bonner, when we had the conversation with him, he mentioned Peasley was playing well early in camp when his
really
foot was hurt. And then he just went in there and stole the job.
Yeah. All right. I just went to push the button and he left. All right. I think it's going to be an interesting year. And I look through Colorado State. When we left last year, that was the team I came to you and I said, that's the one team I have no idea about. And they weren't very good. As we left this year, I'm telling you, Nevada is the team I don't really have a good feeling about. And we'll see what they do under a first-year head coach. I do think Colorado State gets better. Do they have a quarterback back? Or did Jay bring a guy with him? Jay Norvell transfers.
Clay Millen was with him at Nevada.
Was with Jay Norvell, the head coach, who moved from Nevada to Colorado State.
Yeah.
So he did bring one with him. So you figure they're going to be pretty good.
And they signed 2 freshman quarterbacks.
And he brought half that damn team with him.
Brought a lot.
I mean, there's like 15, 20 guys who transferred from Nevada to Colorado State. He brought a bunch of them. And so you got to figure they're going to be pretty good. So we'll see. And then, what's New Mexico going to get out of the quarterback position? How's their offensive line going to be? I'm just going to tell you. I think they got to get better because it can't get any worse. I hope. But I look around this league. Everybody's finding a quarterback. Everybody's finding one, right? Who's it going to be? And camp will open next week. And for your Lobos, it's going to be an interesting run. Who is your quarterback going to be? And can you find some consistency? Like Danny's told us this. Bob Davey told us this every year. Would you like to find one guy who's going to be the guy for 12 games? Yes, please. And JJ, we're going back to Donovan Portery. Was the last one that pretty much every week you could say that's my guy. I mean, the one thing I don't want to ask the Lobel coach every Monday is,
who's your quarterback?
Who's your quarterback going to be this week? And I'm going to guess, JJ, if we've done it 12 times a year, or 14, so we do 14 times a year. I've done this for 14 years. So it's 104. So let's just say 200 Mondays, right? It's got to be more than that. Let's say 220 Mondays. We've sat here over the last 14 years and talked to a Lobel football coach after games. I mean, if there's 220 of them, I'm going to guess 190 to 210 of them we've asked who your quarterback is on Monday. Who are you going to go with next week, right? Because we've had to. Because that's been the conversation. And I know these guys are dying to not have to have that conversation. All right, coming up next, we're going to have a conversation with Josh Sushan. He is the voice of your Albuquerque Isotopes. They have a day game today. They beat the Las Vegas Aviators last night. They will be back at it today. It's lunch at the ballpark today, and you can go out and enjoy a beautiful, beautiful day out there. So we'll talk to him and get you ready for that coming up next. How's your car looking? Storms last night, huh? Probably. Well, it depends what part of town you're in. Then the storms, then the dirt, then the wind, then the grime, then the schmutz, as they say. You can get rid of the schmutz. Call on the spot automotive detailing. They will come out and detail your vehicle. So they'll take care of that for you. Better than you can, and you don't have to do it. On the spot automotive detailing details your vehicle. That means inside, outside, wash, wax, clean, under the hood, around the tires, the rims, under the seats, behind everything. They'll find stuff that you didn't even know was in your car. When they're done with it, it looks, it feels, it smells like the day you took it off the lot. The first day you got it, remember how cool it was, how fun it was to drive? Well, you can have that feeling again, and they come to you wherever it's convenient. Whenever it's convenient, they come. So if you're working from home, they'll be in the driveway. If you're working at the office, they'll be in the parking lot. When they're done, you go outside and you look at it and go, dang, it looks beautiful. And everybody's going to want to know how they can do it. Well, here's how you can do it. You can, and if you're part of our military, you can get a 10% discount. They also offer ceramic coating. Protects your paint better than any other product. They apply it by hand, 5-year warranty. Call and book your appointment on the spot automotive detailing, 505-859-2859. 505-859-2859. Or online at otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
The sports animal.
Great night at the yard last night. My only bummer of the night. One of my favorite things they do, because I'm a real big fan of Taco 10. I know it's not a sponsor of our show, but it's a big isotope sponsor. When the home team, in this case the Albuquerque Isotope, score more than 10 runs, on the way out you get a little card, good for 2 tacos at Taco 10, which has been, by the way, great meals for Addie. She keeps it in the car, and so like when she's coming back from practice, she stops at Taco 10. Isotope scored 15 last night, but I had to leave early, and they didn't have the cards ready yet. You got to wait till the end. That was the only bummer. Otherwise, great night at the yard, 15-7. Good guys win.
Well, you set the tone, Jeff.
Well, of course.
You were the opener for the Topes on the night.
2 wins in a row, 2-2 since the All-Star break. Isotopes are on a 9-game homestand. The voice of the Isotopes is Josh Sushan. Dayball out at the yard today, so he's out early. So you were probably home for what? I was calculating like 6-7 hours between games.
Who, me? Yeah, it's
no.
about that.
Yeah,
so.
you. Yeah, you get a nap?
I'm fine. I'm ready to go.
Do you like these quick turns? These night, because it seems like there's a home game somewhere or a day game in every series somewhere.
Well, we usually have a bunch of day games early in the season, and then once it gets this hot, then it becomes very difficult to play day games. And so then at that point, you're just excited that you get a day game somewhere. I mean, this offense right now is really, really good no matter what the altitude is. And, I mean, Winston Bernard's just put together just an amazing year. And so, I mean, look, it's a fun team to watch right now because they can really swing the bats. And they're not just home run guys, but again, they hit more home runs than anybody else in all of minor league baseball.
And Josh, you mentioned Winston Bernard. What's it like seeing a veteran player have a season like this, and just what it's like being around a guy and knowing that maybe it's going to lead to him getting a chance to be one of those roster call-ups into the year for the Rockies?
No, it's so much fun. These are like the best stories, right? I mean, it's fun when there's the first-round pick, the can't-miss prospect who comes into town, and they're there however long they're there, like a David Dahl, and then you know they're not going to be there for very long, and then they make it to the major leagues. And then there's the guys like Wynton Bernard, who joined us last year, and you look at his bio, and you go, okay, you know, he's 30-something years old. He's played for a bunch of different organizations. He played independent ball. You know, he's probably signed just to be a backup outfielder. And you get to know him last year, and you go, oh, man, this guy is just always in a good mood. Whether he's playing well or not, he's always just in a good mood. He's a fun guy that you like to have around, contributed to the team last year. And then you're excited that he comes back because, again, he's a good guy. And then you watch the way that he's played this year, and he has been so good. He's having a career year. And, you know, he's been the most consistent guy in the offense. He bats leadoff most of the time. He plays center field most of the time. Runs up the hill to make catches out there. Hits home runs. Steals bases. Again, he's still always in a good mood. He's got a smile on his face. He wants to win. The number of times that I've seen him, like, before a game, and he's like, man, we need to win today. You know, like, he hates losing. And so you cheer for those guys so much more, and, you know, you try to live vicariously and hope that the Rockies see that and reward that and kind of look at the big picture and say, okay, maybe he's not the 23-year-old who's going to help us for the next 10 years, but look what he's done. Look what he's doing. Look what he can do to help us at some point. And, you know, so it's just super fun and rewarding to watch a guy like that.
Josh Hushan with us, voice of the Ice Topes, and another player kind of in that mold is DJ Peterson and what he's been able to do this season.
Yeah, you know, DJ, it was interesting. DJ hits a home run on opening night, and it's like the former Lobo, he's back, and look what he can do. And then, to be honest, he kind of struggled the next, 6 weeks, somewhere in there. And he wasn't getting a lot of playing time. You know, he would start maybe twice a week out of the 6 games. You know, and then, as we know, rosters change. Montero gets called up. Bouchard gets called up. Guys get hurt. Now he starts to play 3 times a week. Now he starts to play 4 times a week. And he's produced. I mean, now he's kind of cooled off a little bit since the All-Star break, but going into the break, he was one of the hottest hitters. And he's drawing walks. He's getting on base. He's hitting home runs. He's driving in runs. And, you know, DJ's a guy who it's just fun to talk to DJ because he just has such a great perspective on life and on baseball with everything he's been through. As a former first-round pick who found himself out of affiliated ball, playing independent ball, wasn't sure if he was going to keep playing. His wife says, no, you have to keep playing. You can still hit. You've still got a lot left in you. And so, you know, and especially as a guy who's from here, you know, I mean, he grew up in Arizona but went to college and played across the street. Actually, no, he played here. The Lobo still played here when he was in college. So it's fun to watch him and see what he can do.
Josh, I'm looking at standings, and I here we are now ready to turn the page into August. So we're coming down the back end. Are they still talking about maybe in position to make a run at this thing, or is it all about development, who can get called up? Because there was some talk early in the season, and we had the conversation, and certainly people in the Rockies brass said, look, you know, we want to win at this level. I
can say this. Well, first of all, when it comes to winning, the Double-A team for the Rockies is way above 500. The Single-A team at Spokane is way above 500. The Low-A team at Fresno won the first half title, and they're above 500 in the second half. And the Arizona Rookie League team is above 500.
Yeah, you just pissed every Isotopes fan off,
okay.
I think, right?
But the point is, when the Rockies said we want to win, we're making it a priority, it starts at the lower part of the minors, and then it comes up, right? Yesterday, so before on every Tuesday, I sit down with Warren Schaefer. We do a kind of like a weekly talk. And I said to him, okay, you know, we're past the halfway point. You know, we still got 2 months left. Like, what's your priority right now? What are you looking for? And first thing out of his mouth was winning. We want to win as many games. By now, everybody knows what their role is. They know what they need to do. And he said, we want to win. So are they going to make the playoffs? Now, they're 12 games back, and there's 55 games left. So there's certainly a possibility. But it's not a great possibility. But here's the thing. They want to get them in the habit of winning and saying this is the expectation. And I think it's evident in the way that Warren manages, the way that he uses pinch runners and uses pinch hitters, the way that he'll match up lefty on lefty in ways that previous Rockies managers at AAA did not do, whether that was their own decision or whether that was their marching orders, I don't know. But Warren manages to win. And so, again, are they going to make the playoffs? I don't know. It's a long shot, but their goal is to win as many games as they possibly can. I mean, I'd love it if they just get over 500 by the end of the season, right. You know? But the idea is this is the expectation of the organization, and they want to get everyone practice doing this.
How's this season been for you? You're going through the COVID year and then the odd year last year, right? So you get a year that it goes away, and then a year where there's travel and it's different in every city you go to and restrictions and whatever. Now, you said to me yesterday it's close to being back to where it was in 2019. Are you having fun again with this thing? And does it feel like it's, and I don't even know what normal is. I've kind of gone with the new now. I'm not sure I'm ready to go with new normal yet. But does it feel like it's relatively recognizable?
Yeah, I mean, I'm having a blast. This is one of the most fun years that I've had because I love our coaches. I love our players. I just like them as people, and they're just fun to be around. I look forward to walking in the clubhouse. I don't worry that someone's going to look at me weird, or anything, or who's this guy. I mean, like, I like the people that I'm around. We play fun games. We play a lot of fun games. We have some excruciating losses. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. We have blown some big leads, and you're like, oh, my goodness, how did we lose that game? We've had some extraordinary comebacks, and we've had some just well-pitched, close pitchers duels that's just been super fun. And, yeah, I mean, there for a while – all you did was go to the ballpark and then go back to your hotel room and maybe go to the gym and maybe walk around a little bit. And now, yeah, you get to go out and like do some things on the road and like and explore a city. So yeah, I mean, I'm having a blast. It's great. I love the Monday day off. I love how much more rested I am. It feels like I was just constantly tired every day for the first 7-8 years that I did this job, and now it feels like I'm constantly rested and just in a good mood because I've gotten plenty of sleep, and yeah, it's so much fun. Loving it.
Big deal. It's a big deal. You guys got a big deal coming up this weekend at the ballpark. In 9-game homestand, Brian Cranston, Aaron Paul are coming back. You've got the big auction coming up, and just having those guys in the park and running the previews and the promos that you've been running all week. There is kind of a buzz around there. I was with your general manager, John Traub, yesterday. He's really fired up about it, and this is something special that is so uniquely Albuquerque and I'm going to guess really rare in minor league baseball anywhere.
I feel like the Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, El Camino franchise is just the gift that keeps on giving to this community in terms of quality TV, but also the amount of money that's been raised for charity, what it's done for the economy with the tours, and the store downtown or in Old Town, and just the pride that people feel in the show because of how well the show is produced, and people want to explore and see where the different filming locations are. And then Brian Cranston is just, he just wants to give back. He knows what Albuquerque meant to him and to the show and wants to give back. And so almost all of these items that are being auctioned off, and there's some extraordinary items that are on there. Most of these are from Brian's personal collection or others that he got from his cast and crew members. And you have to be at the ballpark in order to be a part of the silent auction, and it's going to great causes. And yeah, Brian's going to be here, Aaron Paul's going to be here. I think Vince Gilligan's going to be here. We've had a great relationship with them over the years, and same with the Better Call Saul cast with Bob Odenkirk and Ray Seahorn, Jonathan Banks, and so yeah, Saturday's going to be really special. If you don't have your tickets, you should get them very soon because there's not a lot of tickets that are left anywhere in the ballpark. We'll have the general admission tickets as always that are going to go on sale day of, maybe even before. There's some singles here. There's a couple of twos that are here and there. Plus, you've got fireworks and green chili cheeseburgers and exciting baseball. Saturday's going to be a blast.
Yeah, you can't lose. All right, today should be fun too. Weather is looking like it's going to cooperate. It's not going to be stupid hot, so it should be perfect for day game. It's in a 12:05 start. Josh will crack the microphone with the pregame show here on the Sports Animal at 11:45. Good to see you briefly yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, if I can get a quick plug-in for people who are coming to the ballpark, couple of reminders. There is a funeral that is being held at the pit this morning, and so there's going to be a lot of people attending that. So give yourself extra time in getting here, being patient, and the parking fee is being waived for today's game, so it's not going to cost you any money to park when you come out. But again, there's going to be a lot of cars, so look for your alternate routes. And, your best way to get here whenever there's a lot of people. And, again, just be patient. Give yourself extra time when you're coming to today.
And one thing to remember, if you've got a parking pass for that first base or third base slot on this day, it doesn't guarantee you parking. And just be understanding of what's going on across the street. The helicopter crash that took the lives of 4 of our first responders and our heroes in our community, their lives are being honored at the pit, and it is running concurrently with the Isotopes game. So you may not get your guaranteed spot today. Be good to the attendants. Just understand what's going on and go find a free spot across the street. All right, be well, Josh. See you. Josh Sushan is the voice of the Isotopes. All right, we'll wrap it up. Got time for you to get in if you would like at 505-246-0610, and I'll recap whatever happened while we were on the air today on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Always enjoy the conversation with Josh. You can listen to him today. He'll crack the mic at 11:45 from Isotopes Park. Gus is in on Isotopes. He says Albuquerque's baseball team has to score like that last night. Jeff, they have to. They need to put up 10 to 15 points before the game for them to have a chance. Last night felt like they had one of their better defensive efforts. They still gave up 7. They just aren't going to win many games when they score 4 or 5. It's from Gus. All right. Bruce says, replying to Brittany Griner, Jeff, can I play the other side? I guess. Is Josh's mic still up, Amory? Thank you. As far as this thing being a medical prescription, if I'm in Russia, I'm pointing out Michael Jackson had a prescription. So did Elvis, for that matter. It's from Bruce. I'm not. What does that mean? What does that have to do with anything?
Did they have it while they were in Russia?
I'm not sure I understand. Did they overdose? Is that what you're telling me? It's really not the issue. I mean, you can overdose.
No, I think there's got to be more to that. Like when they were in Russia, were they using it?
I don't know.
Because that would be the only way that would make sense.
Sometimes things don't make sense to me. All right. Live Golf. They will play this weekend. News this morning. They're going to expand to 14 tournaments. They're currently at 8. I wonder if now the guys that signed up are required to play in all of them, right? I wonder how that works. The guys who signed up, they got their bonus, were they required to just play in 8, or do they have to play in all of them? They're going to expand to 14 tournaments with $405 million in total purses starting next calendar year. So 48 players, 12 established teams, $405 million. So this year they've got 8, and just for perspective, it's going to increase. The purses are going to increase 4 tournaments at $150 million. So players are competing for $255 million this year over 8 events. I'll do the math for you. And next year it's going to be more than that. So currently, if it's 255, what did I tell you, 55 million? That's a lot of zeros. Divided by 8. So this year it's 31,875 per tournament on an average. Next year's number is going to be 405 million over 12, so it's increased about $2 million per tournament. Man, they're just pulling money out of the ground, aren't they? And you're going to get more guys going, I guess, and more guys going over and doing their thing. Now, they didn't announce the sites or where the events are going to be, the additional ones, but they said that the events in 2023 will not conflict with the 4 majors, will not conflict with international team events or heritage tournaments. So in the words of Live Golf, the best players in the game will always be able to make their own choices about where to play. Greg Norman said this, quote, Live Golf's expanding global platform will add a new dimension to the golf ecosystem as we know it, one that provides an opportunity for players and fans around the world to help maximize our beloved sport's true potential. Our franchises model will bring new energy and excitement to fans from all corners of the world, establishing a league of teams to connect and grow with, end quote. So, JJ, they're doubling down. They're not going away. They're not backing down. They are putting their foot on the pedal. They've got Dustin Johnson and Phil Mickelson and Bryson DeChambeau and Sergio and Brooks Koepka and Patrick Reed, all on multi-year deals, and they are doubling down.
Money and opportunity. And adding events, I think it also shows that those guys that want to play less events can still get the money they want and play 8 times as opposed to 14 times. Potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they keep adding events and getting bigger, then all these guys that left for the money and like less work, well, then it's going to be just more money and more work.
So when you've watched a Live tournament, I know there's only been 2. Does the team aspect do anything for you? I know that's a big part of what they're selling. Oh, we got the team aspect. They're on team, whatever the team names. They're goofy names, right? Does it do anything for you? Do you care which team's winning? Or do we have to be trained to watch a golf tournament like that?
Because it's so different. It's just going to take time to adjust to that in that setting where it's individual performance, but you're associated with the team. As opposed, because it's not just, hey, this is the Ryder Cup or President's Cup.
Yeah, I watched 2 tournaments, and I'm not going to tell you I've watched them in detail, and they'll start up again tomorrow. It's in New Jersey, right, Emery? At the Trump National Golf Club at Bedminster in New Jersey. And then they'll go to Boston, and they'll go to Chicago, and the season ender is in Doral. They'll also play overseas. There's one in, I believe, in Saudi Arabia. But when you've watched both of them, right?
Yes.
Does the team aspect that they're selling me on, has it done anything for you to enhance your viewing?
No.
Do you think it will? Do you think you will get trained to go, oh, yeah, go team?
Fire. First of all, they need, we've talked about this before, but they need to get better names.
Okay.
That
Will that help you?
No,
That'll
no.
make you give a damn more?
No. I just love watching golf.
The Four Aces, isn't that one team?
Yeah.
The Four Aces are playing honestly, maybe I'll get there. Maybe people will be like wait till you go out to your club and your buddy's wearing a cool hat and what's that logo? Yeah, it's the Four Aces dude from Live. Whoa, that's pretty dope. You think we're getting there? It'll be a flat brim hat, huh?
There'll just be more attire to wear golfing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's more stuff to buy, more stuff to sell. The team aspect, they're trying to sell me on. I'm just not there. I don't know that I'm ever going to get there on that. But if you're going to tell me that I'm watching Bryson and Brooksy go at it and Dustin Johnson and the names at the top of the board I give a damn about, and it's a pretty good Saturday coming down the stretch, yeah, I'll probably buy in.
It'll change when they get on TV. Because on the weekend, even it being streamed, it doesn't necessarily pop up. Like, you have to search it out.
You do. You have to make an
pop
effort.
up like on my live feed.
Right.
And so I haven't watched any of it, other than what you've pulled up here when we've been sitting here in the morning.
So there was a Saturday. I don't know if it was the first one or the second one. I don't know where the hell I was. But I was at home, and I got up, and I put up a second computer screen, second laptop, as I was kind of reading stuff, and I did put it on. And I'm not going to tell you, but it didn't do much for me.
I don't have I find they're both the same when trying to find golf, but I also don't have cable anymore.
Can I tell you, I don't like the shotgun better than I like the regular traditional format. I like watching a guy come down 16, 17, 18 as opposed to playing simultaneously. But we'll get there. Sebastian Noel, Andy Avalos, and Josh Sushan were all guests on our show this morning. Thank you to all of them for their time. Jim Rome Show is next. You get a short run with the herd with Colin. Then you get baseball.
Yep.
You get baseball. And then Colin Coward and Two Men On will come your way at 4 o'clock. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, terrific work. I know you guys are taxed over there. Great work, and it looks great. A-Marie, congratulations again on getting your shows. Great job today. Big day for you.
Oh, huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.